I don't call my patients survivors. I call them conquerors.
Ooh.
Survival is necessary. It's very necessary. It has to happen. But you are somewhat selfish. So moving beyond the survival into conquering.
Now you can give.
I think we do. It's a lot of awareness around breast cancer, but I think sometimes when you're going through it, you're not thinking of the other side. You're not thinking of, what does life look like after this is done, right? And not one time did I think about a bra. We are having dialogue like my kids really fundamentally understand what mommy is going through. I think I got into a place of performing and not even realizing like I'm doing that for everybody else.
But what about you?
Exactly.
Welcome back to another episode of the Off Script podcast. Today's guest is another. I think everybody at this point is a special guest, but this one in particular, a friend of mine I met recently through a leadership cohort. We kind of connected off the rip, as the young people say. But what really got me connected to her was her story. And if anyone who's been listening or knows me, you know that I'm very passionate about not just stories, but having opportunities to hear people's stories. This guest is very special because I got in my head, admittedly, before I asked this person, and anyone that knows me knows I spend a lot of time in my head. It's not always positive, but not only did she say yes, she said yes almost immediately, which was confirmation for me. So without further ado, I give you my dear friend, Brittney Gray. Welcome to the Off Script podcast.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing today, Britt?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
Great. I love that intro.
Yes. Okay. Hopefully I didn't leave anything out.
I think you got it.
Well, Britt, I've been saying this in my podcast journey, but tell the three people that are listening about yourself. And all three of them are in the studio right now.
Well, hey, we have an imaginary host of people, crowd. But I'm Brittney Gray. I am the CEO and founder of KnowBra, and we are a digital health tech platform that helps women who have gone through breast cancer. And right now, our main focus is mainly women who have gone through mastectomies and lumpectomies, and they are eligible for bras and post-mastectomy equipment and accessories after they have their surgeries. And so we provide a way for them to not only access that equipment, but also just giving them the services and support that they need post-treatment and post-recovery.
Okay, cool. Brittney, I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's get right to it. You started KnowBra for a reason.
Yeah.
If you could, in your own words, tell me and the people listening what that reason is.
Yeah. So and something just interesting that I just recently heard that a lot of business owners actually it's almost like a trauma response. The type of businesses that we choose to start, and I'm not sure if I would just say that my experience was just full of trauma, but I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 24 years old, and I was treated right here in Birmingham, Alabama. And which was very, it was almost like a perfect storm because you don't find a comprehensive cancer center in the South like that. So I went through it was called triple negative breast cancer. And so I had to go through chemotherapy, a lumpectomy, and radiation. And throughout that journey, I think we do, it's a lot of awareness around breast cancer, but I think sometimes when you're going through it, you're not thinking of the other side. You're not thinking of, what does life look like after this is done, right? You're just, it's like having a car accident, but it's like this long span of stuff that is happening. And not one time did I think about a bra.
Yeah.
Something as simple, yet significant as a bra. And, a lot of times women, we're still a whole person before we have these experiences, right? There are mothers and daughters and people getting married and, going to, just one of those triggers was like going to a formal event. It's like, oh my God, I have to wear a strapless bra. And it's like, I never thought about how this was going to affect, my scar, the tissue that, has been removed. I had a lumpectomy, which in comparison to a mastectomy is pretty, in my situation, I would say mild, but it was still painful,
Yeah.
just to wear a regular bra. And so just after radiation, I actually during radiation, I got severely burned, like just all over the site, my skin, just, from my arms, everything. And I needed a special cream. And I didn't know anything about compound pharmacies and all this different stuff, which are very expensive.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of times your insurance doesn't cover those things. And so there was like other types of creams that I could get that I didn't know where to go to get them. And so my radiation oncologist sent me to a mastectomy boutique in Birmingham. And not only was I able to get one boutique at the time, they're closed now, but I was able to get the cream. They had wigs, they had the bras and the camisoles. And I was just like, what kind of place is this? I've never heard of it. And not only that, it was covered by my insurance. And so, it was just, it felt like, when you're falling, like that soft landing, it felt like in the women there, I felt like I was being seen and I was being heard. And a lot of times, these women have also gone through what you've gone through. And didn't know that existed. And so I think I have become what I needed during those times. Really not trying to wear a cape or save anybody, but really just thinking of if these things were already in place, especially if they were well known. A lot of people don't know about these type of resources. So I think I just trying to become what I needed.
Yeah.
And then I know so many other women need as well.
Brittney, do you have any ideas or thoughts or why like access to that information can be scarce?
I mean, really, it's because I became a post-mastectomy bra fitter, and we are considered allied health professionals. And so most of the time, we are when we become a mastectomy fitter, there's not really a place for us to go work. We are relegated to become our own business entity, unless you're able to get into a comprehensive cancer center or some kind of clinic that has the budget to support this type of business. And a lot of times what you have are people who are very enthusiastic about patient care and wanting to help the women and the patients that come, that need them, but they may not be as knowledgeable about billing insurance or the actual product inventory that we have specifically for these type of patients. They may just really know how to talk to people, how to care for people, how to ask certain questions, and just be there to support them. But there's this whole other aspect of it that has to happen that sometimes they can't afford to do, So you have to have, I think, in Alabama, you have to have so many square foot, to in a brick and mortar building. And, in the last couple of years, we've had about four or five boutiques close
Oh, wow.
in the state because it's just, for one, the access to it a lot of times for other patients, a lot of patients don't know about it. The providers don't really know. I think a lot of resources have been heavy on the awareness side when it comes to breast cancer, which is very much needed.
Right.
But there is a gap that exists when it comes to what now, and I think that exists in a lot of different, situations. But there's just not a whole lot of, even when you look at government funding isn't really allocated as much into post-recovery. It is now. It's starting to be more now. But for survivorship and, because I think there was a time where the prognoses weren't as great as they are now. Now you have millions of women that are surviving breast cancer. It's way more likely to survive now than it is to actually pass from breast cancer.
Yeah.
And so now I think that maybe it could be a possibility that the survival is outpacing the resources. That could be. But I will just say that it's a scarcity of the practitioners that are actually, in the community. And where do we fit? Are we supposed to be in the clinics? Are we supposed to be in the communities, or some kind of hybrid model? I think there's just been a struggle in finding our place sometimes. And then, a lot of legal things with insurance. I think there's a lot of different things that are happening, just to long story short.
Yeah.
But I would say one of the primary things would be that business overhead, and not being able to actually go out and tell my, if I'm the owner operator of this business, it's hard for me to go and market, to my patients in the area to let them know where I am.
Right.
And then if it's just me, I have to fit these women. Sometimes a fitting can take hours versus, minutes with someone else.
Yeah.
So that's really the problem we are tackling. That is quite a feat.
Right. And I'm assuming some of these challenges you experience in your own breast cancer diagnosis and recovery and rehab. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Brittney, and we've talked about this offline, so I'm going to try to act like I don't know this. But Brittney, what is it? No. I'm not going to ask that. What do you think it is? Like, what do you think? What do you think is it that makes breast cancer such a taboo thing in our society? Because if I could add a little bit more to that question, because like in October, everybody knows what October is. Right. There's pink everywhere, and it's just like I know I've been a victim of this. I can get caught up in the pink, but Brittney, when I met you and you laid it all out there for me, and it's nothing against it. It's nothing against it. Don't get me wrong, but like there's a whole story behind this pink ribbon that I don't think many people are talking about. So when I give that supplementary part to my question, like I'll ask again, like, what is it that people don't know once you get this diagnosis and go through that process?
That's a good question, because even when you say taboo, I wonder if it's a taboo around people like having the conversation about it. And ask that last question, how you summed it up at the end.
Just like what makes it taboo?
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think makes it taboo from a societal standpoint?
Yeah. Ronnie, I might get in trouble for some of these answers.
Well, if we can go here safely. If not,
yeah. No, because I have opinions.
Okay.
For one, a lot of time, there are a lot of women, that are being diagnosed, unfortunately. And again, like I said, these women are whole people before they ever get diagnosed. They're mothers, sisters, daughters, just their relationships to other people. And I think a lot of time, I know in my case, I had never been sick, even with my friends, like when I finally lost my hair, one of my friends, like, she didn't want to see me. And she told me, she was like, I'm not used to you being like that. Like, I'm the strong friend. They call me Mama Bear. And they're not used to having to be there for me. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt some kind of way at first, but then just also understanding like it's, even for other people, to see your mom sick, to see your grandma, someone that you've always seen strong, always seen them kind of, doing their thing and never letting, life get them down. It kind of sometimes I think will turn into it's like once you start talking about it, it makes it real,
Mm. Yeah.
And I think a lot of times, at least in my family, I think everybody kind of just wanted to close their eyes and just like, is it over? Is it over? Is it over? And like right after, it's like, especially in the post part, there's like, well, you're not on chemo anymore. Why would you be sick? Like you're not doing these treatments anymore. Like, why are you sick? And not really giving credence to the residual effects, even, the psychological side. Sometimes, I've even been, someone mentioned like, oh, well, are you depressed? Are you hanging on to that experience? And it was like, honestly, I didn't have a chance to feel anything while I was going through that process. And so after, it was like everything is starting to settle now. And for everyone else, they've probably already dealt with the emotion of it. When I got diagnosed, my mom invited all of my friends over, my dad, my mom, and I was just like, I haven't had a chance. I literally had just gotten a call. Every last person came through that door crying.
Mm.
Every last person came, and I found myself supporting them and almost performing because I was like, I didn't want them to think that I was sick or that, I was weak. I know for me, I would make a point to put on makeup, put on wigs, um, you know, especially like because I have a brother that was in the Army, and so he would come in and out of town, and I would just make a point. I was like, I didn't want him to see me sick. When my nephews or my nieces come around, I just didn't want them to think that, oh, every time I see Auntie Brittney, she's sick. And so I think I got into a place of performing.
Wow.
Yeah. And not even realizing like I'm doing that for everybody else. Yeah.
But what about you?
Exactly.
Oh my goodness, Brittney, that's good.
Yeah. We going deep.
We going
buddy.
here. Oh my gosh. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that, Brittney.
absolutely.
I don't think I heard you say that
Yeah,
before. We've had talks about that. That is deep for real.
Yeah. Like I knew my dad. My mom told me that she was like, I don't think your dad can handle you bald. And I was just like, okay. And I remember my dad like walked in and I was in the room and I remember I woke up and I was like, oh, I didn't have anything on my head. And I put the covers on my head and he was like, what are you doing? And I said, you're not ready. You're not ready. And he was like, what? And me even taking, like I did that to my husband, it was a long time before he saw me without like something on my head. And I thought I was doing that for them. And those were the moments where they were like, I didn't ask you to do that for me. There was some that I think I kind of used a few people's like their perspective and I applied it to everybody. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Brittney, what if you could, what would you want people to know? And by I mean people like family members, caregivers of someone who may be in a similar situation you were.
Yeah.
If you could have one plea to them based off what you learned being in that experience, what would that plea sound like?
Man. Like check in. Like authentically check in Like, I know sometimes people will say, well, just take them something and just do this and just do that. Just ask them, like, how are you? What do you need? If you know that they had a chemo appointment, how are you feeling? And to really care. I think me and Brandon were listening to like a podcast before someone asked, like, how are you today? And he always asks, like, but do you care? Like, really care, if that is someone that you love.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. And then thinking of the long-term outcome, you want this person to be not just healthy, but also mentally, psychologically, emotionally, in a decent place. Like, I think offering a space for them to be able to just cry and without giving advice. I think that can be hard sometimes, because it was very difficult for me to talk to other people who had not been through cancer. And I get it. I know that people say, oh, I can talk about anything. I don't have to have gone through it to talk. I get it. But it's a whole different thing when you actually walk that walk.
Yeah.
And even when you've had breast cancer, it's still a different walk from person to person. There's a lot of times I have people call and they'll say, well, hey, my sister or someone, they got breast cancer. Can you talk to them? Yes, if they want to talk. A lot of times it's a place where they may not be in a place to talk. They're still processing. They're not even going to hear anything you're saying. That's why I think it's important to have someone go with to the doctor with you. Even if they say nothing, just to be a listener, just to be there with you when the doctor is talking. Because these doctors sometimes, we end up kind of becoming a number. So they're kind of trying to, give you the spiel, give you the process, and go kind of, do what they have to do. Not to say they're heartless. It's just that's their job. So they see more of these people affected on a normal basis. It's not necessarily an insensitivity, not all the time. But to have someone to be there with you, to just listen and to help fill in the gaps where, if you just imagined if that were you, if you got a cancer diagnosis, where would your mind be?
Right.
Yeah. I don't think I was in a daze.
And I think part of it is like, and it's a realization I'm getting, it was new to you too.
Yeah.
So you got your people that are close to you. It's new to everybody. And no one knows how to move. So there's a lot of opportunities for grace here.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it did something to me to hear you say, like, I was performing for them, because you felt like you had to be strong in the midst of what you were going through. Like that's deep.
Yeah.
So, but I get it though, and you're helping it. You're helping me absorb it, like from a really high level. Like, this is new to this whole environment. No one knows what to do. So yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because even my mom hadn't, at that point, like, she hadn't had cancer. My dad had it, but he didn't have to go through treatment. So, just cancer in and of itself can be just massive, especially to a younger person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had just been displaced by the tornadoes.
Yeah, that part. Oh my gosh, Brittney.
Yeah, so I was sending my parents through, like, what is happening?
Yes, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Brittney, I am going to take the opportunity to give you your flowers, though, only because through our talks off air, Brittney, you don't even realize it, but you empowered me to open up healthy dialogue with my mother-in-law, who's a breast cancer survivor as well. And I'm telling you, Brittney, like, after we had that convo, it was all I was talking about for several weeks after that.
Dope.
But I'm thankful for the awareness that you were able to provide, and I'm thankful that you're, in a sense, Brittney, you're breaking the stigma behind it by talking about it. Like, I think that's huge. But just I can't. I don't have the words right now. But
Yeah.
being able to approach my mother-in-law, who, like I told you at first, was
Yeah.
dismissive to the conversation, but
Right.
then for some other reason, unbeknownst to
Because
me,
you
I care.
care.
Yes, and it's
Like
just
you
simple of
cared.
like I just want to hear from you
Yeah.
what you went through,
Yeah.
what you may not be willing to share with anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. Like you gave me the encouragement, the the confidence to have, because I wanted to know. You know what I mean? Because as you were
Yeah.
pouring this into me, I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, mother-in-law.
Right.
Like,
You
nah.
start thinking of like all these different people that you know have gone through something. It's like, wait a minute, it's not sometimes until you see someone else and it's right in your face and that catches your attention. And then it's like, wait a minute, I know several people that have gone through this.
Yeah.
They're never going to talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, in what setting is there, unless it's like a support group or, and then in what setting would you be around? So I don't think there are a lot of spaces, that allow, because a lot of, like I said, the support group, most of the times those are going to be other survivors, but are there groups or, and they probably exist, maybe I just don't know, but where we are having dialogue, like my kids really fundamentally understand what mommy is going through, that my husband really fundamentally, I found out like in Africa, I think the divorce rate, like 80% amongst people who have been diagnosed with breast cancer, because there becomes a well, for one, spiritual beliefs as well,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, and just a lack of understanding, a lack of support, like not realizing these drugs are going to do something to this woman in her body, and she cannot show up the same way that she's been showing up. But sometimes some people just see, oh, they're walking around, they're still going to work, they're still doing stuff. So why can't they do everything that they were doing? And I just think there is not enough understanding around outside of just self esteem. I think we talk a lot about beauty and aesthetics and confidence, which that is important, but there's a lot of underlying there. My memory was affected
Oh,
from
wow.
chemotherapy. Yeah, I was trying to go to school, I couldn't remember anything. Chemo brain is so real. Like Brandon laughing, it is so frustrating
Yeah.
because you cannot, again, chemotherapy kills every rapidly forming cell. I just found out from Tabitha Few when I went to her,
Yeah.
that it destroys like your mouth, your eyes, I've gone experienced temporary, I wouldn't even say so-called blindness, but it was definitely like a blurry, like I could not see. I could not see.
Yeah.
I couldn't, when I could taste, I couldn't smell. When I could smell, I couldn't taste. And then
Oh.
the chemo brain was so long. It has such a lasting effect. And nobody talks. They just kind of say like, yeah, it's probably a little chemo. They mention it kind of like pregnancy brain or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Like I had to get like an ADA compliant, thing to take tests, to have longer time to take tests. I've never had to do that in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, it affects you in ways that I don't know if even the providers, because it's so different from
Yeah.
person to person, And so, yeah, I just don't think there's a lot of spaces where we get to talk about all of those, other things, even the type of medications can cause you to kind of be not apathetic, but like just not emotional, not affectionate. Some women have experienced, there have been a lot of women who've had breast cancer right after they have their children, and then they have to have a mastectomy. They cannot hold their babies for a very long time. do we talk about that?
No. Today we do.
Right. Yeah. They cannot hold their babies.
Oh my gosh.
So,
I'm sorry, Brittney. That hits home.
Yeah.
As a father of two boys who
Right.
a wife who breastfed both of them, something I took for granted.
Yeah, right. Breastfeeding. That was literally why I chose to have a lumpectomy, because initially my doctor wanted me to have a bilateral mastectomy. I was 24. And I was like, well, someday I would like to have children. I imagine myself being able to breastfeed. And I went through chemo first. Most people have surgery first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I went through chemo first. And I just remember being like, Lord, just save my breasts. You know, at the time, to be that young, you know. And so even talking to an older breast cancer patient, what she told me was, oh, forget those breasts, chop them off. It's no big deal. Because you've had your children.
Yeah.
You've lived your life.
Right.
So that ends up, you know, she didn't mean any harm by it.
Sure.
And honestly, it did take a little bit off my back to just realize, okay, it's not a big deal. But for me, I had something different in mind. And my surgeon honored that. I had a female surgeon too, by the way.
Oh, that part.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. And she listened to me. She asked me, what do you want to do? Like, I was in there sweating bullets because I was like, they wanted to do the bilateral mastectomy. That was my oncologist who said that. And she told him then, she was like, wait a minute now. Let's see how the chemo goes, and then we'll revisit. I had no talks in between this. I had no idea what they were going to do. I honestly was kind of prolonging the chemo a little bit because I was afraid. And my tumor shrank to half its size within like 6 weeks of my treatment. I was on a clinical trial.
Okay.
So I went through like 20 rounds of chemotherapy over a span of 6 months, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. And then came back, and she asked me, and she said, what do you want to do? I said, if we can we please just keep it? And I was like, the tumor shrank. Like, I am a researcher, so I'm like, hey, it shrank down. You know, it's localized. It hadn't spread. Like, you know, can we just? And she looked at me and she said, I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And ever since then, because it's been, you know, I won't tell my age, but it's been a while ago.
Okay. We'll keep it at that.
Yeah. And they have actually, you know, they've developed a lot of data around, you know, breast conserving surgeries and being able to do, because it's called neoadjuvant chemotherapy. But, you know, just listening to patients and honoring where they are in their life, you know, and if it's recommended, you know, they recommend, and we do what we need to do.
Yeah.
But I felt in those moments it was my decision.
Okay.
And yeah, but I felt like they cared.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still there, and when I see them, I'm like their baby.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I think I was probably one of the first youngest people that they had at the time. Wow. And so just and I still participate on like clinical trials and stuff like that. But yeah, I think just kind of going back to, you know, that conversation that you had with your mother-in-law.
Right.
I just think to be around and be in spaces where people just actually care.
Yeah.
You know, not just asking a question just to ask or to get data or a survey or something like that. Like, you genuinely wanted to know.
Yeah.
And I think that even just sheer curiosity, I think that helps us, because it helps us also like say it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that, Brittney.
Yeah.
So Brittney, when I think about your story, I can chronicle it such as a purpose-driven profession. So in the spirit of that, and hopefully that honors what you've done. But in the spirit of that, when I revisit the timeline where we are.
Yeah.
You've been diagnosed with breast cancer. You've gone through treatment. You've gone through rehab. I want to hear about the point in that process to when you said, you know what, I got to do more. And like give me the infancy stages of like KnowBra and how that came to be.
I'm going to put some of that on my husband.
Okay. Let Brandon get his.
I mean, he was just like, I remember one time I think I was afraid going through the rumination. I'm a ponderer too about the surgery. And he was telling me about, at the time, there wasn't a whole lot of celebrities that had breast cancer.
Okay.
And he was telling me about them. And I think we had just got a magazine or something with, I think, Wanda Sykes or someone in there. And he looked at me and he was like, I just see you doing, like a nonprofit or just talking to people about this. Like, I had never, ever, that wasn't in my trajectory at all.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think of anything like that. And even for him to say it, I don't even think I really understood what a nonprofit was at the time.
Yeah.
And I think I was just so caught up in my own stuff, and somehow, some way, I do feel like somewhere, somehow, somebody told me I couldn't do it.
Oh.
And that could have been another activator.
Okay. Are you one of those?
I am.
Okay.
So bad.
Okay.
Ooh, my mom was too. And
for real?
I get it. Honest. And yeah, we co-founded a nonprofit called Revamp Beauty.
Okay.
And initially, because at the time I was making wigs for just making wigs.
Just out of the
I was already doing. I got through college doing braiding hair.
Oh, okay.
College and a little bit of high school.
You still braid?
Ask him.
Okay, no. Okay. Cool. Because I was about to put you to work, but we continue on.
Look, I do it for the people I love.
Okay. We're gonna talk about that offline because Ronnie's gonna ask the question, and we know friendship's gonna stay intact. So anyway.
Yes. But yes, I started doing hair when I was like 11. Just braiding.
Okay.
And but yeah, I got through all of that, and so when my hair fell out, I had already made a few wigs for myself. Oh. I really just did it out of necessity. I had never really did it before. Yeah.
You just learned how to do that on your own, or?
Yeah, it was just, they call them, back in the day, it was called like quick weaves.
Okay.
And so you like put them, but I had to put like a barrier on my head and then like make it real time molded to my head.
Right.
And I think I even kind of surprised myself that I was like, oh, I could take it off and put it back on, and I really got a kick out of it. And I would specifically do it on my chemo days because I was having to go to chemo every week.
Okay.
And I would do it on chemo day, and my we have these nurse navigators would come through. Kim, I love her. I would get a kick out of. She would never notice. Like she was like, "Oh, Brittney, every time I never know who you are. You always got a different thing." And it would just be like our little joke, before I go in, and I would really get a kick out of that. So I would just start making different wigs, really to just mess with Kim, and it got, we had like this little basket in the chemo waiting area that was like a nonprofit would do knit these hats for us. And they came right on time. I never really thought I would wear one, but it's perfect in the wintertime.
Okay.
You are bald.
Oh, okay.
Like no hair, no eyebrows, nothing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, we can do the same thing with wigs. And so we formed a 501c3. Didn't think it was gonna happen, and we really we kept at it. Like Brandon really helped. he really was the foundation, the driving force with that.
Nice.
But I didn't know what I was doing. It was no business model. It was literally just like the goodness of my heart. And I felt like if I'm feeling good every time I put this wig on, of course, these other women would be feeling better too. You know, I even was worked with Look Good, Feel Better program for about 2 or 3 years, I think. And I got to see in real time, you know, these women that are coming in there, and a lot of times they just feel bad. But I was doing, even when I was doing just braids, like just in general, a woman is going to feel better about herself when she looks better.
Yes.
Or she feels that she looks better. And so that was kind of my driving force. I got certified in non-surgical hair replacement, and was making it official, because you can also get wigs covered by your insurance.
Okay.
But that was kind of my first introduction into like this post-surgical side and what could be covered on your insurance. And so I think that was my intro into just entrepreneurship, doing anything charitable, like as far as me like making something. Like we had some partnerships with beauty supply stores, and then we were just giving the wigs away. There was no money exchange. We were taking any donations we got were in-kind donations. And it just, over time it wasn't as it just wasn't scalable. Right. It wasn't, sustainable. So KnowBra was an organic, I think, transition from that. Took a little break, went and worked for a nonprofit, and learned is very hard work. I think that is essential, especially when you just don't know, just getting in and just getting on the ground floor. Because I was just supposed to be answering phones, and then I ended up like the executive assistant to the executive director there, and I got to see every aspect of a nonprofit, and I got to see this woman does not sleep. She is always, helping someone, and also seeing what aspect of that it was still the access to, even as great as she was, the access to her was still limited. And that's what kind of brought me into this technological side of it. Was I wanted to learn more about what is available for us post-cancer, and why aren't we talking about it? Because I was a part of different groups, support groups, and there's a lot of like financial assistance, and then you have the Look Good, Feel Better program, but there was nothing about bras or post-surgical anything that I knew of.
Okay.
There wasn't necessarily a pipeline for physical therapy or for mental health support. And so I think I wanted to, these are things I was looking for. And as I'm just in this world, I think I just started to position myself in a way to see how I could help.
Okay. Okay.
It was supposed to be me helping other people in these businesses, but then when they told me I couldn't do it, I was like, watch. Yeah. And so I ended up forming KnowBra.
Okay. Yeah. And I just want to capture a piece of this, but like the part of you not knowing at all what this was going to entail. Thinking about that, it's easy for me knowing the story to think about what kept you going. Yeah. And that was what I deemed to be a part of your purpose. Yeah. Was there anything else that was driving you as you were forming KnowBra? Yeah.
Oh man. My family. My family. My mom passed from colorectal cancer in 2020. And then my dad he had prostate cancer before I got diagnosed, but then he got diagnosed with bladder cancer.
Oh, wow.
And had to have his bladder removed.
Lord.
And so I think there is, like I said, a lot of us are trauma inspired. And I think I'm always just thinking about resources and support, and then something tangible, not necessarily just, just something tangible. I knew, right after my mom had passed, she had like all these medical supplies that we were able to give to a neighbor who was on Medicaid, and they couldn't afford. Like, my mom had really good, my dad's retired from the Army in the city, so they have great insurance.
Yes,
and
indeed.
So they had, they had home health care and all the things. And, after she passed, we were able to give those resources to someone else.
Okay.
And they could really, really use it. And they had been dealing with a lot because they didn't have it.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of it. But also, like, my mom was a social worker and a teacher. My dad was in fire prevention. And I think it's just always been in me.
I'm picking up on that, Brittney.
Yeah.
Picking up on it heavy.
Yes,
that's good though.
Yeah, Army. My dad, Master Sergeant. My brother's a captain. I think, like we were really we couldn't open our Christmas gifts until we served at a shelter, or my mom worked for DHR for years. My mom was a part of like the social work, like back in the 70s, in the 80s, when she said they handled everything, like the food stamps, the welfare, the the physically removing, people from the homes. And like, she has always been service first.
Yeah.
And I think I lead with that. Sometimes it gets me in a little trouble,
right? Okay.
Because I am a giver. But I think that was my biggest motivation.
Okay.
Probably to a fault a little bit, because I literally will give you the shirt off my back.
Yeah.
But I've just always been grown up with the to whom much is given, much is expected.
Okay.
And so, but I also had to figure out too that it didn't have to look like a nonprofit. I think also a lot of women, we are socialized to start a nonprofit,
right?
And not realizing that most people that start nonprofits, they are coming already from a corporate structure, and they're giving, that's their overflow. And I was giving from a struggle bucket. I was giving from a struggle bucket. And that's what sometimes can make our resources, people turn away from them, because now you have nasty people that you might be dealing with because they've got to pay their bills.
Right.
And while they're not paying their bills, they're still giving out of one hand and they're struggling out of the other. And I didn't want to be victim of that, because I knew I'm human.
Right.
So I knew that was a possibility, and I knew there was a way. And there's also, if we see like Madam C.J. Walker and, those women, when they, and Oprah actually went to school with students that Oprah sent to our school, like supported them.
Yeah.
When you get to see women give from an overflow, our communities are so well built. The foundation is there because we're giving from a place where, and we're challenging our counterparts as well. I'm not going to just deal with you. I don't call my patients survivors. I call them conquerors.
Ooh.
Because in survival, when you think about it, all you're thinking about, survival is necessary. It's very necessary. It has to happen. But you are somewhat selfish. Well, not somewhat. Like, you're surviving. It's either me or you. And for the sane person, it's always going to be them. Like, you're not going to, only Jesus did that, right?
Right.
So we are not him.
Mm.
And so in that self-preservation, in that survival, I can't give to you. It would not be wise for me to give to you. And it's probably even hard to receive.
Yes.
So moving beyond the survival into conquering, now we can relax, set our shoulders back, really absorb what's all happened. What now I can get my bra. Now I can get, you know what I mean?
But most importantly, Brittney, once you've conquered, now you can give.
Yes.
In terms of the
Yes.
intel,
Right.
sharing your experience,
Yes.
the motivation.
Yes. And that was the defiance that I had initially, where someone was like, Brittney, I think you need to heal first before you go out and do this nonprofit. And that was the, nope, I'm going to do it. And again, I got myself into a situation. Luckily, it wasn't anything bad, but it wasn't sustainable.
Right.
Because I hadn't healed.
Yeah.
I hadn't accumulated anything. I went straight out of, that, and I think it's like a survivor's remorse, almost.
Which is real.
Yes, because a lot of women, after they survive breast cancer, they want to start a nonprofit. They want to give back. One of the best things that I wish I probably would have done at that specific time was just go and volunteer.
Okay.
And be a part of someone else, which I eventually did.
Yeah.
But even in that, being able to see yourself in other people and not just wanting to save, who are we to save anyone, but really just to humanize the whole situation and to see, like, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
And mine wasn't as bad as I thought. Did you die?
Right.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dang, Brittney, that's so good.
I forgot your original question.
No, it's
Ronnie.
cool. It's cool. It's
like,
cool.
like
You
I'm
gave me
talking.
more than enough. I am going to ask you this in terms of you getting into the entrepreneurial side of KnowBra. Can you recall any fear that you dealt with that you don't mind sharing about? And not only tell us about the fear, I want to hear about how you overcame it.
With KnowBra?
Yeah.
Oh, the first time I got my first investment. I did not feel, I was told to apply to an accelerator, and like right before that I had just got rejected from another accelerator for a smaller amount of an investment. And I just was like, they didn't accept me, why would these other people? And I almost didn't apply. And I had, ironically, he works with me now. I have someone who was a part of, they were affiliated with the program, and they were like, I really need you to apply to this program. And I felt like all I had was an idea. I didn't have any revenue. I didn't have a solid, business model. And I was afraid. And I went to, I think it was Sloss Tech. Went to Sloss Tech, and I remember me and him had tickets to go somewhere that night, but the application was due that night. And I saw the guy there, and he said, Brittney, did you apply? And I was like, no, I don't think I'm going to do it. He was like, yeah, so I need you to, he was like, you need to finish this conference. Right after this, you need to go and finish that application. He said, I will help 3 people that day. Told me I needed to apply. Not only did I need to apply, they would help me apply. And I forfeited those tickets. I think we missed out like $100.
Oh, no. They should have called me. I would have went.
Man, I was upset. And we ended up doing, I applied, and because it was a part of it, like when you get into the financials, like your TAM, SAM, SUM, and all of that. And I was just like, I don't understand this. I don't know how I'm going to define my market. I just don't know. And that's one part of an entire presentation. I was not going to submit it. And I just did it anyway. And I did what made sense to me. And I did it anyway. And it seemed like before I think right when I woke up that morning, they had accepted me.
Oh, wow.
They had
Man.
accepted me. And even, going through the interview process and all of that, there was a lot of doubt. There was a lot of imposter syndrome. There was
Preach.
a lot of thinking in my head. And trying not to look up other companies and seeing, what were their past companies? What did they do? Because I think we were just talking about comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Man. Because I know now if I would have, even to my cohort, if I would have seen some of their stuff before, I definitely wouldn't have applied.
Right.
And I think just doing it again, not telling myself no before I get there. And I think that was just the overcoming was get out of my head.
Yes.
Some of my best work, Ronnie, has been done in 15, 20 minutes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I did in this accelerator, they challenged me to do it's almost like a storyboard. You know how you guys do for video.
Yes.
But a storyboard for my business. And I come from the type of high school that I went to. Like everybody else loves multiple choice. I hate multiple choice. I'm an essay writer because I can BS my way through it.
Okay. Yeah, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah. And so he's telling me, look, do this storyboard. Don't take more than 15 minutes. I was like, who does that? I got to find pictures. I got to get, the script. I literally did it. I waited to the last minute. Pressure, bust pipes.
Right.
And did it in 15 minutes. And I was surprised, and I forgot that he told me that. And I went back, and it was our entrepreneur in residence. So I showed him. He looked at it. He said, I just want to ask you, how long did it take you? And I bust out laughing. I said, 15 minutes. He was like, this is the best thing. This is now, they require every company that comes into the accelerator to have this storyboard.
Whoa.
Something I did in 15 minutes.
You didn't have time to be afraid.
Exactly.
You had to just go for it.
I think now, as we're talking, I think my husband be manipulating my time because if he can rush me through it, then I won't think so long.
But I like that mindset, though.
We just got to get out of our head.
That part. I feel
their
that.
Perfection and all of that, because what really makes me angry is if I spend all this time on it and I wait till it's perfect and then it doesn't hit the way that I want it. Now I'm really mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just do it.
Okay.
Just do it.
We've seen the meme. Do it scared, do it tired,
scared, do it ugly, just everything. Do it.
Yeah.
Yes. And because there is no one on this earth that can stop what we're doing but us.
Come on.
There's no one, even if you don't get an investment, so what? Get another one.
Yes.
There's
somebody out there.
All you need is that one yes.
Yes.
And who are you really trying to get the yes from?
and I think part of it's the acceptance of that no means that just is not for you.
Yes.
But like you said, It doesn't mean that there's not anything out there for you.
Absolutely.
That's so real.
Absolutely.
I wish I had learned that 15 years
ago. Everything happens in its time. Because I swear, it was same.
Yeah.
And it's still stuff, we still, you go through and you get mad. Again, my husband. When I'm running late, when I'm caught in traffic, when things like yesterday, I thought the universe was just against me. My phone stopped working. My couldn't find the charger for my computer. Couldn't find my computer. It was so big, and I was about to start crying. I was just like, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
And it was like, you never know what God is trying to protect you from.
That's true.
Or prepare you for.
Yes.
Hey, I need you to just slow down over here for just a second, because that 5 minutes that you were late, you probably dodged an accident. Probably dodged an argument. There's been, I'm sure you can label, there's been plenty of times that you're like, ooh, go glad I missed that.
I mean, just yesterday, yeah. I'm for real. But yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. And you just never know. And I think it's a Wayne Dyer. Have you heard of Wayne Dyer?
No.
Wayne Dyer is a good speaker that he said we don't know enough about life to be pessimistic.
Mm.
We don't know enough about life to be pessimistic because we're only seeing one aspect of it. Like, how foolish is a branch to go against the tree? You know?
I like that.
I'm pulling some good stuff here.
I like that.
But yeah, like, we don't know. There's so many different things at play. You just never know. Like, I'm not moving as fast as I would like to be moving in my business, right?
That's okay.
And that is okay.
All right.
That is okay, because I'm figuring out some stuff.
Yeah.
One thing I will tell you is I got some longevity and some resilience built in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, just a husband who's going to keep, because every time I get like, I'm finna go get a job, he's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
You're going to keep doing what you're doing. Just calm down. I got the mortgage is paid.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
That's a blessing, though.
Indeed.
Okay, Brittney.
Yeah.
One question I'm trying to do better about asking everyone that comes on this podcast is if you could describe a situation where you had to go off script to get your desired results. And you almost gave me a little bit with that story. So
I think my life is off script.
Oh gosh. Okay.
We are always innovating something. Man, currently in my business, I say that I'm a mastectomy fitter more in name than actual trade. You know, I'm learning and I'm comfortable being in a learning kind of situation. And I work with another, my partner in Dothan, Denise.
Okay.
She is a very talented, intuitive, sensitive mastectomy fitter. She's been doing this for, I think, 16 years now.
Oh, wow.
And when there are, I have my patients, and instead of me trying to just serve them on my own with my limited knowledge, because most of our trade is more practice and experience.
Okay.
And she's an older woman, and she's just, she can look at a woman and tell what size bra they wear and if they're wearing the wrong size and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I will FaceTime her while my patients we're very much girlfriends at this point.
Okay.
And we will tag team that patient together.
Oh, wow.
And it's almost having like this younger version, because most of our patients are older, having this younger, the younger, and this more peer person that is more experienced. I can, no different than, how you and Tyden, being able to be in that student position, and also not being, I'm not insecure with my patient to let them know, hey, I don't know everything.
Right.
This is my help. I'm going to make sure that I pay Denise well
for
what she does, because I still need her help. I could have just went on by myself and still, my patients probably wouldn't know the wiser. They would deal with but I want to give them quality.
Yes.
I want to give them, and I want to make sure we're building community and rapport with each other. And so where I'm weak, I will call a team member and make sure, like, hey, I don't know this. Can you help me? Can you come in with me and talk to this person? And hey, I'll, buy you lunch, whatever we got to do,
Yeah.
But I think off script, for me at least, is just being in a position where I don't have to look like the expert. I'm okay tripping and falling and, not getting it right the first time or the second time or the third time. And being just, hey, we're going to do FaceTime. We're going to, figure it out. We're going to piece this thing together. We're doing that all the time with what we do.
Yeah.
And because we have to be also compliant we do things by paper, or we have to, but we transform that in a way that can be more like on this technical level that can provide more access. But we have to go off script first. We got to go off script first. We're going to have to make some mistakes, and we're going to have to like analyze those mistakes and recover from them. We can't hide from them.
Right.
So, yeah. I think that's life for us at this point. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Doing it ugly, doing it
scared,
unprepared, scared, all the things.
Doing it hungry.
Yes. All
that.
script.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Brittney, thank you so much for making the time for this today. I always come away with something new when we talk, and I'm really thankful for that.
You do that though, because we went
Brittney,
some places don't think I've.
We're not gonna do this today. Thank you for that. I received that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You lean into it. It's
okay.
I'm just gonna plant the seed.
Okay. Before we go, I do want to give you an opportunity to plug KnowBra. Let folks know how they can find you. Let folks know how they can support. Because you never know who's listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can find us on it's called We Know Bras, WEKNOWBRAS.com. We are also on social media and Instagram at We Know Bras. On Facebook, we're KnowBra. Somebody took our name on Instagram. But Facebook, we're KnowBra. TikTok and Twitter, which is now X.
Right.
We are KnowBra. And also, our 501c3 Revamp Beauty is also in support of KnowBra. So we are doing pro bono support for women who are dealing with, they are underinsured or don't have access. We are teaming up with some great organizations to help provide access, provide funding, to help with copay and deductible assistance for them to get their bras. We take all insurances. And so, we are actually expanding now. One of our partners is in Dothan. We currently are developing a partnership with a DME clinic in Bessemer, and we are located downtown at the Innovation Depot.
Okay, shout out to ID.
Yes. Indeed, they love that.
Yes. Well, Brittney, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to being able to witness more special things in your journey. Indeed. And I just know it's great things to come in the future for you and KnowBra. So,
same.
Yes.
Thank you, Ronnie.